Son, Major James Bazzanotti of Massachusetts State Police, Commander of Troop A, Lowell City Manager Thomas Golden, Mayor Sakori Chow, and Detective Lieutenant William Donahue of the Massachusetts State Police. I want to begin first by thanking all of you. Many of you have been with us throughout this two-day search, and we are all heartbroken to be here this afternoon to report that it appears that the end of the search has come with the recovery of a body of a young child, preliminarily identified as 7-year-old Anna Mugura. Anna was recovered at about noontime today in the Merrimack River in Tewksbury, in the area immediately adjacent to the Trump-Work Golf Course. As you know from yesterday, shortly after 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, police received a call from Anna's family. We know from video that we had that Anna had disappeared from the driveway of her home. The search began with family members making a search of the neighborhood, checking and looking for her. As soon as the police received that call, assets were deployed to the neighborhood to begin the search. That search over the next multiple hours took many forms. It included the recovery of video from neighboring homes. It included the use of drones, the air wing for a period of time yesterday while it was available due to the weather, the use of ATVs, and also the bike patrol as well as the canines. That search continued actively until about 11 o'clock last night. Officers remained in the area overnight, continuing to search. As you know, we had incredible response. Lowell does an amazing job of responding. We had literally hundreds of people come out after the media was helpful to us in getting that message out yesterday. People were out with flashlights, walking through the area, checking their property, checking the property of people who might be away, looking in playhouses and swing sets and all sorts of places that a 7-year-old little girl may have gone. The search began actively again this morning at 7 a.m. Short time later, the environmental police were able to locate on one of their boats an image that they believed to be Anna. They were using what's a technology referred to as side scanner sonar. Based on that image, state police divers went into the water. They did not then see that anyone in the place where that image had first occurred. It's important to note that because of much of the rain that we are having, the river is between 4 to 6 feet higher than it usually is, and it's moving at roughly 4 miles an hour, moving very fast. The divers continued to search in that area and ultimately located the child we believe to be Anna about 15 to 20 yards from the shore. She was in water between 8 and 9 feet deep. Child's body did not have any obvious signs of trauma, but a positive identification as well as a determination as to the cause of death will be made by the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. Again, I want to extend our thanks to the media. I particularly want to extend our thanks to the community. The Chief will talk a little bit about all of the other assets that joined us and really made this search a priority in terms of both bad weather yesterday and water conditions. As many of you know, covered these kind of stories, it is unusual to locate someone who has gone missing in a moving body of water as quickly as was done here. And that really speaks to the efforts that were made. As you can imagine, Anna's family is now dealing with an unimaginable loss. And while they are also deeply grateful, they have requested privacy during these next few difficult days. I'm going to turn it over to the Chief to speak to the particular agencies that assisted us, and then I'll come back and take a couple questions. Chief.
Thank you, Madam District Attorney. I'd just like to thank you for your leadership and your assistance during this tragic event. I'd just like to thank all of our law enforcement partners that were present and assisted in this effort to locate Anna, starting with the Lowell Fire Department, the Lowell Police. We had assets from our dive team, our drone unit. We used resources from the Lowell Emergency Management. I want to thank the Massachusetts State Police, who initially began with their air wing assistance, K-9 units, their CERT team, their CPAC team with the detectives that went out and attempted to canvass with our detectives, their dive team, all the member communities from the NEMLEC organization that sent resources, mountain bike, ATVs, drones, canines. I'd like to thank the Mass Environmental Police with their boats. We also utilize resources from the Central Mass Search and Rescue. Burlington Police, Woburn Police, Tewksbury Police all sent drones to assist in this search. The Massachusetts Fire Marshal's Office also sent resources, as did Massachusetts Emergency Management and the Ipswich Police Department. I hope that is not an exhaustive list. I hope I didn't leave anybody out, but just to underscore what response this was to the community, as well as our outpouring of support from our community members. This was not the way we wanted it to end. Unfortunately, but we did everything I think we could possibly do to help the family.
Again, keeping in mind that we are only a couple of hours into this investigation, I'll take a few questions.
Aaron, does it appear that foul play is ruled out?
We have no reason to believe that there's any foul play at this point. And as well, we have no reason to believe that any conduct on the part of anyone led to this. As anybody who has children knows, children can disappear in seconds. And it appears to be nothing more, based on what we know now, than a tragic accident.
Were you able to get any security video that could show you her path as to where she entered the water and how far she actually went?
Not as to her entering the water. We did get a little bit of security video. People were wonderful yesterday in terms of taking up their video, checking their nests, that sort of thing. Obviously, there were lots of children, and we spent time going through determining who was in her and who was not. We did find her on a couple of pieces of video, but nothing down in the water.
And how far did she actually travel from, like, her home to where she was found? She was very...
From what we believe was the point of entry, and that is a preliminary belief, which is based on heritage, which was across from the island where all of you were last night, that road that heads down. The body appears to have traveled between a half a mile and a mile.
Do you have any idea when she could have entered the water?
We do not know that. There are lots of eddies and brush in there. We don't know, even though the river was moving very fast, we don't know what her path was when she went into the water.
Could you talk about the size of the search area itself?
The search continued to expand outward. We obviously began in that immediate neighborhood, continuing blocks and blocks backwards. As you recall, yesterday we were asking people up to the Tewksbury line, down Andover Street. Obviously, we went towards the water. So we continued to expand that, and we were greatly assisted by all of the assets we had, as well as the members of the community who came out to help us. Thank you.
Chief, a question for you. You know, about a year ago, we were all here for a similar situation with a young boy with autism who also went missing and ended up in a body of water. Can you just talk about how difficult this is for law enforcement and what to do in these types of situations to just better get a handle on it?
These are very difficult situations, and obviously an immediate response in this type of situation is key. That happened here. We try to put out as much information as quick as we can on social media and just reaching out to neighbors who can help with any type of search like this. And there is emerging technology that we're looking into. We have some technology including that can help you locate individuals that are high risk, whether it be Alzheimer's or autism. That wasn't in place in this case, but there's technology out that we're going to bring on board that we have right now.
And that is something that we would hope would be a message from today as we start looking towards how do we use things like we're all familiar with silver alerts, that sort of thing. And Lowell Police Department's made some preliminary steps in having that available for family members that may suffer from autism or be otherwise nonverbal. And an incredible piece of work today would be to start getting that message out.
Can you, sorry, Ryan, can you elaborate a little bit on what that technology is and how it works?
It's the same kind of thing that's used for the silver alerts. People who have some kind of a, kind of like the health alert bracelets that you can activate or find people.
Did the rain contribute at all to the search being more difficult, or?
Well, it did affect the ability of the air wing to stay up yesterday. It also had some impact on the use of the drones. As many of you I know saw, we were using the drones with the flares last night. We used those as long as possible. It greatly contributed to both the height and the speed of the ring.
And this was in the Merrimack, right?
Yes, yes. Thank you all very much, and thank you for your help.
Spelling of the last name?
Yes, it is M-B-U-R-U.